Atlanta thought it had already seen every storm that reality television and the streets could throw. But the night Tasha K finally stopped teasing with that infamous flash drive and actually unleashed its contents, the city realized everything before had only been a trailer. The real movie began when she leaned into her camera with that smirk that told you she wasn't bluffing this time. For weeks, people clowned her, saying she was just waving a piece of plastic, saying she was all bark with no bite. But the moment Tasha K adjusted her wig and whispered, "Y'all want the real story, baby, it's all right here," the air shifted. It was like thunder before a storm. The internet surged as if the entire world had clocked in for the same shift. Thousands abandoned whatever they were doing to flood her livestream. Bloggers threw down their dinner forks to hit record. Hashtags shot up within minutes. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was blood timestamps, receipts with names and voices attached. And the first voice, the one nobody expected to hear, Rasheeda. The audio began with static, the kind that sounded like a wiretap from a crime drama, until Rasheeda's voice cut through, sharp, tired, and heavy with calculation. "I'm not about to let Yandy rewrite this story, Jasmine. If this comes up again, you better keep it low, because I'm not losing everything just to entertain fans. Kirk can't survive another scandal. Do you understand me?" In seconds, the internet detonated. The live chat was fire emojis, clown faces, and caps-locked screams. People froze and then exploded. So, this was about Kirk all along. Bloggers clipped the audio, looped it, and plastered captions like "Sis, you defamed yourself." Every replay made Rasheeda sound guiltier, more cornered, more desperate. The woman who had always marketed strength suddenly sounded like a puppet master choking on her own strings. But Tasha K wasn't finished. She leaned closer to her mic, eyes glinting as if she had Atlanta by the throat. That was just the warm-up. She teased before flooding the screen with screenshots. Crisp daylight, clear direct messages allegedly from Rasheeda rolled across the Live to Sierra. "If you ride with me, I'll make sure your name never comes up when the blogs start digging. Too spice. Keep it neutral or we all lose. Don't feed the fire." The internet moved fast, branding Rasheeda a manipulator more concerned with control than truth. Memes popped instantly. Pressed Boutique's logo on a Monopoly board, captioned, "Control the streets. Collect no credibility." TikTok stitched with the DMIs. Sis wasn't fighting for her name. She was fighting to keep the empire from burning. Meanwhile, Yandy, the woman who had stayed silent, calm, almost untouchable, struck with one post. A black screen, white letters, "Truth, don't need a lawyer." No hashtags, no selfies, no rambling caption. Just the mic drop of the century. Fans flooded her comments with chest piece emojis, crowning her queen of calm. The contrast was brutal. Rasheeda, unraveling and in audio, crying outside restaurants while Yandy sipped tea and let the internet fight her battle for her. And the more Rasheeda scrambled, the more powerful Yandy looked. Then came the financial files. Tasha K, always the showwoman, lifted another folder with the flair of a poker player holding a royal flush. "Baby, the court got the clean version. I got the director's cut." The chat exploded. She teased spreadsheets where boutique sales didn't match deposits, mysterious wire transfers, missing amounts circled in red. Fans turned into detectives overnight, zooming, screenshotting, speculating. Was Rasheeda secretly funneling money to cover Kirk's debts? Was Pressed Boutique really a business or a lifeline keeping the Frost empire from collapse? Within hours, Twitter timelines were mock trials. Memes dubbed the store Pressed by the IRS. Jokes flew. Boutique or Bank of Frost? Fashion Nova? No. Federal Nova, the crown jewel of Rasheeda's empire, had become Atlanta's latest punchline. Instead of silence, Kirk stepped in and made everything worse. He posted a gym selfie, flexing his biceps, captioned "Energy, don't lie. Don't believe everything you read." The internet tore him apart instantly. "Sir, weren't you cheating on TV before Instagram beef even existed?" One fan clapped back. Another roasted, "You lied in 4K for 3 seasons straight. Don't talk to us about energy." Every attempt by Kirk to defend Rasheeda only dragged her deeper. He wasn't protecting her. He was reminding the world why nobody trusted the Frost name in the first place. Atlanta caught fire. Anonymous pages swore they had the rest of the drive. DJs looped Rasheeda's "Keep It Low" into club mixes. Bloggers dissected every screenshot like sign investigators. Tasha K had turned the streets into the jury, and they didn't care about legal motions or judges. They had heard the voice, seen the files, and replayed the evidence enough to make their own verdict. To them, Rasheeda wasn't just losing a lawsuit, she was losing herself. And just when people thought it was over, Tasha K leaned into her mic one last time. Flash drive raised like a blade. Y'all think this is bad. Part 2 of this drive. Baby, it's going to send somebody straight to jail. The internet combusted. Fire emojis, crying faces, conspiracy threads. Everybody demanded answers. Was it Kirk? Was it Rasheeda? Was it VH1? Nobody knew, but everybody knew the saga had only begun. Days later, she went nuclear again. No more teasing, no more baiting. This time, she dropped it all. Spreadsheets, documents, receipts dressed up in courts, but laid bare for the streets. Reclined in her chair, glass of red wine in hand, Tasha K smiled like a woman who owned Atlanta. See, this is what happens when you try to silence the wrong one, she said. With one click, she showed sales evaporating, invoices without signatures, wire transfers to shadow accounts, highlighted in blood red, a transaction with the name Kirk Frost. The chat froze, then erupted. Not the boutique funding Kirk's mess, screamed the comments. Within minutes, memes spread. Kirk lifting weights captioned, training for court, not the gym. Within an hour, pressed by the IRS was trending worldwide. The boutique wasn't a business anymore. It was a meme, a scandal, a citywide joke. Rasheeda tried to fight back. A black background post read, people can alter documents. People can fake screenshots. Don't believe everything you see. I stand on truth. But her timing was poison. Fans weren't listening. They had already heard her voice, seen her DMIs, studied her numbers. Comments under her post shredded her sis. The numbers don't lie. Receipts louder than captions. This ain't Fashion Nova promo. This is federal promo. Her words meant to be strength collapsed into weakness. She wasn't standing on truth. She was drowning in it. And then Kirk doubled down. He went live from his car, sweat glistening, tone frantic. Y'all got to stop believing these bloggers. Me and Rasheeda been solid. Ain't no fraud in our house. Energy don't lie. The fans ripped him apart. Sir, didn't you cheat in front of cameras? Your energy lied in HD. Stop dragging her down with you. By the time he ended, his screenshots mid-rant were plastered into memes, captioned, when you realize loyalty can't fix the IRS. Even sympathetic bloggers gave up. Every time Kirk speaks, he buries Rasheeda deeper. But the real shock came next. Cryptic payments labeled consulting fees with the initials JW. The internet, gasped Jasmine Washington. Was Rasheeda funneling hush money disguised as business? Was Jasmine being paid to stay quiet while the Frost brand pretended to stand strong? Social media spiraled. Some framed Jasmine as a victim cashing dues, others as a villain pocketing checks. Then Jasmine herself went live, playful and dismissive. I don't know what y'all talking about, but if somebody want to pay me, I'll take it. That one line lit the internet ablaze. Memes of Jasmine holding Monopoly money exploded. The attempt to bury Yandy had dragged Jasmine back, turning her into a wild card in the chaos. And then came Spice. Another group chat surfaced with Rasheeda calling her messy, always pretending neutral. That insult hit like a grenade. Fans already suspected Spice was playing both sides, but now the receipts tied her name directly to the feud. Spice, never want to stay quiet, posted a fiery her accent cut like glass. Don't put my name in your dirt when I've been nothing but respectful. If you want loyalty, talk about the man laying next to you, not me. Leave me out your scandal. The internet crowned her bone crusher, not bone carrier. She went from neutral to national headline overnight, while Rasheeda shrank smaller in comparison. By the time the echoes of that first leak settled, Atlanta was still trembling like a city in aftershock. But Tasha K wasn't easing her grip. The courthouse had turned into the hottest ticket in town. Bloggers camped out with ring lights balanced on tripods. Fans wrapped signs around the barricades. And chants of receipts don't lie rolled down the block like thunder. Inside the courtroom, the tension was so thick. Even the judge had to raise his voice just to remind the gallery that this was not a reunion special. But no one was fooled. This was reality television bleeding straight into real life. And Rasheeda was center stage whether she wanted it or not. When she stepped out of her SUV that morning, cameras did or not. When she stepped out of her SUV that morning, cameras caught her in a beige tailored suit and oversized shades. Her chin was high, but her body looked weighed down as if each step carried the weight of decades of image building now collapsing under receipts. Online, the reaction was merciless. Tweets mocked her look with captions like, "Sis, dressed for trial and funeral at the same time." Screenshots flooded timelines before she even walked through the courthouse doors. And then came Yandy, arriving minutes later in a cream blouse and jeans. Her hair slicked back into a neat ponytail, her face calm, eyes steady. Her stride no shades, no guards, no theatrics, just quiet control. That one image placed side by side with Rasheeda's became a viral split screen, one armored for war, the other dressed like she already won. Inside, the lawyers wasted no time. Rasheeda's attorney stood tall, voice echoing through the room. He painted a picture of a woman under siege, claiming that the documents online were fake, manipulated by haters and bloggers to destroy her name. He spoke of emotional distress, financial harm, and relentless harassment, but his words bounced against walls that already carried whispers of disbelief. Fans had already replayed the voice notes, already studied the DMs, already zoomed in on the spreadsheets. To them, excuses sounded like noise. Then Yandy's lawyer rose.com as ice. No theatrics, no raised voice, just precision. Truth is not defamation. Receipts do not lie. If the plaintiff's reputation has suffered, it is because of her own words, her own silence, and her own actions. The room stirred, a ripple of gasps and murmurs cutting through the benches. Bloggers live tweeted it word for word. Outside, chants grew louder as the line hit social feeds in real time. And then the exhibits dropped like bombs. Group chats projected on screens showed Rasheeda calling Yandy always playing victim. All 4 cameras. Gasps filled the room. Then the voice note played. Authenticated, undeniable. Rasheeda's voice, tired and sharp. I'm tired of pretending for cameras. The silence after was devastating. Fans in the benches grabbed their phones, typing furiously while outside. The hashtag pretending for cameras took off like wildfire. Within minutes, it was trending worldwide. Clips of Rasheeda's voice looped across TikTok, edited with captions and sound effects that turned her frustration into the soundtrack of her own downfall. What had once been her power, her polished front, her curated family image, now felt like staged acting, and the internet was tearing it apart. In the back row, cameras locked on Kirk, slumped forward with his hands over his face. That one shot went viral instantly. Memes plastered his image with captions like "Bro realizing the gym don't fix the IRS." Another read: Kirk training for stress, not strength. The man who once presented himself as the protector now looked like the dead weight pulling his wife deeper into the mood. Meanwhile, Rasheeda dabbed at tears, but the internet wasn't moved. Instead of sympathy, her cries became another weapon. Tweets mocked, "Crying in HD won't erase receipts." Screenshots spread with captions like "Tears don't wash evidence." And then came the curveball: Spice's name resurfacing. Another group chat popped up where Rasheeda allegedly dismissed her as messy, always pretending neutral. The courtroom buzzed with laughter and outside fans screamed louder. Team Spice, not silent. Days before, Spice had already posted her fiery clapback, warning Rasheeda to leave her name out of the dirt. Now, the receipts in court made Spice look like the one standing in truth, while Rasheeda sank deeper into quicksand. What had started as Rasheeda versus Yandy had officially spiraled into a cast-wide war, and fans couldn't get enough. But the biggest twist of the day didn't come from the judges. As the session wrapped, the judge promised to review the evidence before a decision, reminding both sides to prepare for more hearings. Yet, outside those walls, another show had already begun. Tasha K went live from her studio. No teasing this time. She plugged the flash drive in with dramatic pause, leaned into her camera, and whispered, "What y'all saw in court, that was nothing." Part 2 of this drive. Baby, it's federal. The internet went insane. Comments flew so fast the chat froze. Fire emojis, crying faces, frantic questions. Who's going to jail? Kirk, Rasheeda, a producer. Nobody knew, but everybody knew one thing. Atlanta wasn't watching a trial anymore. They were watching an empire collapse chapter by chapter in real time, and Tasha K was holding the pen. By Monday morning, Atlanta was boiling over like a city caught inside a live reunion episode. The courthouse steps didn't look like justice. They looked like a red carpet. Fans, bloggers, and paparazzi lined the streets, their chants echoing louder than police sirens. Receipts don't lie. Pretending for cameras. Everyone had already decided the verdict before the judge even spoke. When Rasheeda's black SUV rolled to the curb, the crowd pounced, phones lit up, flashes blinded, and insults cut through the air like knives. She stepped out in a fitted beige suit, oversized glasses shielding tired eyes. Her face set in stone, but the optics betrayed her. Online captions burned instantly. Sis dressed like she came to fight for her freedom and bury her career at the same time. Sympathy had evaporated. What remained was spectacle. Minutes later, Yandy arrived and the contrast was cinema. No entourage, no walls of shades or bodyguards. She stepped out in a cream blouse and jeans, hair pulled into a sleek ponytail, her posture calm and collected. She smiled faintly as if to say she knew the truth didn't need defense. That single image went viral before she even crossed the courthouse doors. Fans wrote, "One came armored for war. The other came dressed like she already won." Outside, chess piece emojis flooded time. Inside, the crowd sat buzzing, waiting for the showdown. When the exhibits flashed across the courtroom screens, the whispers became gasps. Group chats allegedly from Rasheeda, mocking Yandy as always playing victim for cameras, appeared in crisp clarity. Then came the authenticated voice note, Rasheeda's weary voice declaring, "I'm tired of pretending for cameras." The silence was suffocating. Reporters froze mid. Fans in the benches whipped out their phones and the internet exploded into hashtags, pretending for cameras. Within an hour, the phrase was trending worldwide, a new weapon against Rasheeda's image. What was once her shield, her calm front, her curated family posts, now looked like artifice collapsing under receipts. In the back row, cameras caught Kirk slumped with his head in his hands. That image alone spread across Twitter like wildfire. Meme captions wrote themselves, "Bro realizing the treadmill can't run from the IRS." Another Kirk training for stress, not strength. His silence spoke louder than his frantic lives, painting him as the liability dragging Rasheeda down. Meanwhile, Rasheeda dabbed at tears, cracks showing in her armor. But instead of earning compassion, the internet mocked her collapse. Screenshots flew. Crying in HD won't wash receipts. Her vulnerability wasn't protection. It was proof of defeat. And then came Spic's vindication. Another group chat surfaced in which Rasheeda allegedly called her messy, always pretending neutral. The courtroom buzzed, laughter breaking the tension, and fans outside screamed in unison, "Team Spice, not silent." Spice, who had already scorched the internet with her fiery clapback days before, looked like the only one standing tall while Rasheeda's credibility shrank smaller and smaller. The feud wasn't just Rasheeda versus Yandy anymore, it had ballooned into an all-caste war, and the audience was loving every second. But the final twist didn't come from the judge. As the gavel fell and court adjourned for the day, Tasha K went live again. This time there were no teases, no dramatic wig adjustments, just a flash drive glowing under studio lights. She plugged it in, leaned forward, and whispered, "What y'all saw in court? That was nothing. This part, baby, it's federal." The internet detonated. Conspiracy threads ignited instantly. Was it Kirk facing charges? Rasheeda, a VH1 producer, covering a scandal? Nobody knew, but everybody knew something darker was coming. Outside, the courthouse transformed into a stadium. Chants grew deafening. Banners waved. Paparazzi shoved lenses over each other. Bloggers screamed into ring lights like sideline reporters. Cameras caught the split-screen moment that defined the saga. Rasheeda ducking into her SUV with her face hidden, tears streaking down, body slumped in defeat. While Yandy walked out calmly, waving gently like a queen who had already claimed victory. That single clip replayed endlessly across TikTok, stitched into edits, captioned with one line, "Receipts, don't lie." And in that moment, Atlanta realized, this wasn't just a feud. It was empire collapse in real time. The Frost brand was crumbling. Reputations were burning, and Tasha K sat at the center with the city in her palm. The flash drive still had chapters left to burn, and the people knew one thing with certainty. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of the war. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of the war.